Hey.
Hey. Oof. Okay, that's all fake. That's all fake.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, shoot, I forgot
I'm
to move the
I'm nervous.
finger. Oh,
I'm
there
I'm
we
now
are.
nervously laughing. Yes,
Uh,
this is gonna be a hard show.
no, it is. We're talking about feeling alone.
Yeah.
Alone. We've been through, we had a technical issue. We've got a laptop went down.
Yeah.
A few other things. We're okay. You can see we're here. Yay. We haven't
Yeah.
killed each other. That actually is relevant.
It's quite amazing that we haven't done that. Yeah.
I end up oftentimes feeling all alone. Because in the end, I guess we are, or something like that. That I feel like sometimes I'm either saying things people don't want to hear, or saying things that even people want to hear, but they're not used to hearing, or
Mm.
shit. I say I love you a lot more than most people.
Mhm.
Um, and in my head, a lot of times I get to a point where I turn around and I feel all alone.
Mhm.
Some of that is I'm trying to be out in front, and part of who I am in my world is I'm the person that's out in front. Being out in front can be really scary because sometimes you turn around and realize there's nobody behind you, not because the people meant you to feel that way. It can be totally, I think at some point we all feel alone. That one of the greatest things I got out of group therapy sessions when I was doing that was the fact that this feeling of all alone is something we all share.
Mhm. That's true.
That in the end, it's inside us, it's not out there.
Yeah.
That I'm not really on a cliff. I'm not really all alone. There's beautiful people out there that support me, believe in me, and you believe in me. I get scared, like I don't, first off, know what I'm doing,
Mhm.
because I don't. I get scared because I'm at a precipice
Mhm.
as far as what to do. I feel like in the end, that's all on me to come up with a solution.
Mhm.
Um, and so sometimes I feel overwhelmed by that. A combination of not knowing what to do,
Mhm.
and then nothing looks like the right thing to do, or I don't know. I have weird I have weird issues with asking for money. Now that's a funny thing in comparison to everybody has weird issues about asking for help.
Yeah.
But for me, spiritually, the idea of getting paid
Mhm.
from actual people to try and share my thoughts
Mhm.
is business as opposed to
Pleasure.
meditation,
Mm.
as opposed to meaningful teaching.
Mm.
That
What you
um
actually want to do.
it's what I'm no, we're all teaching every day in what we're doing.
Right.
So in my head that is what I'm doing.
Right.
Not teach. I don't mean teacher. I don't mean like that. I mean
Mhm.
sharing.
Yeah.
I don't think you can charge for the wisdom you're sharing. If that finding wisdom is free and you should give it to people.
Well, um, I will say that I've I've reached a consensus in my head about asking for help because I feel like what we both have the dream of doing is something that will be very, very positive for humanity.
It's the goal.
And I think to not give people the opportunity to help is an injustice to them because how do you create a community without
God,
someone else
I
so
wish my ego could get there.
no, 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 no. Seriously,
No, no, no. I
seriously.
get what you're
I
saying.
spent no. The funny part is I spent some time thinking about this because yesterday we did the little uh the help piece and we were talking about how well we need help in a lot of things.
Right.
And I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, there's this fear of people saying no.
Mm-hmm.
There's the fear of people vehemently rejecting whatever your idea is and calling it stupid and stuff like that. There's that fear. There's also the fear that no one will help.
Well,
There's a lot of
yeah.
fears going on, but also like there there has to be more of an effort from myself to believe in the idea that I have. And there has to be more confidence in I want to do a good thing. There has to be more of that going on in my head
Right.
because of the fact that I can't deal with all of the what ifs and like all of the contemplation. Like if I spent a fraction of the energy that I spend on contemplating and overthinking and just being down on myself and being hard on myself, if I spend a quarter of that on trying to get people to like help me out
Right.
or trying to get people to like I don't know, like
No, to just listen.
to just listen, to just hear me out, you know? Like just talk about my idea. Talk about our idea. Like if I spent more time doing that, I think I'd get way more positivity than I assume I would.
Yeah.
Um and I know that comes from there's a lot of places that comes from. There's like a well of just sadness that just sits in my heart that just seeps into everything. And
Yeah.
when I try to do something positive, it always feels like this well is creeping back up again.
Yeah.
And I've been feeling that pretty hard. I have a feeling you've been feeling that pretty hard.
All right. Yeah.
Um
No doubt. That I mean, the reality is there's a weight
yeah,
that in the end I can believe in this all I want.
right.
Everybody here counts on me to provide
Something.
more than a
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah.
This is my home. For those of you who haven't realized it, this is my home.
Yeah.
I'm in my basement. It's also where when I was incredibly depressed and dealing with all of that, I shut down and hibernated and hid, and I still do.
Mhm.
And I figured out how to bring cameras in. I still
Mhm.
have trouble going outside. I still have trouble going places. So the other day, yesterday, I reached out to a friend,
Mhm.
very successful. I went to a school where, in my head, most of the other people really ended up doing pretty good. You might catch the subtle jab at myself in there,
right.
where they went out and changed the world their ways. I went out and drove a truck
Right.
along the way with a variety of side quests. But I wanted to reach out to a friend and go, hey, I want you to see our studio.
Mhm.
But he's a friend that's a real musician, and I don't mean that like he goes to real studios.
Mhm.
It's my basement. This is where I've always been all alone. And as much as people come down here and they tell me how wonderful it is,
Mhm.
those people have, and I'm not jealous of what they have. That's not it.
Mhm.
No, where my ego's in the way is I'm embarrassed about me.
Yeah. The funny part is that when you would always ask me like, "Hey, why do you have a hard time telling people about the studio and stuff like that?" And I realized like earlier today when we were talking about it, like I realized the reason why is because like I'm so proud of the fact that we've built a studio, but at the same time, as soon as I remember that I also live here, I immediately feel like it's regular. And I feel like I'm not doing anything special. This is just something you're passing the time with. This is just something you're playing around with. I feel
We get lost and it
unprofessional.
feels
Like,
alone and
it
like,
feels bad. It feels wrong. It feels like I'm not doing enough.
right.
And
As I'm working my ass off, it feels like I should be not, or
right,
I'm not. Like,
right,
well, I'm just obviously I'm delusional.
exactly.
Um, dear God, I talk about the idea that somehow I feel connected to other things. I'm a loony.
Even though there's probably people that are like, "Oh, your studio's at your house, dude. That's so awesome. You could just record whenever you want. Like, that's so cool." And then like, there's probably people that are so interested in that, but at the same time, I can't get past the idea that this is something regular. This is
You know,
like, there's it almost speaks to like the
like if it dies at the end of the month, we're just another idiot that tried.
right, right. It to me it almost speaks to how like society places so much value on being professional and being
Is it professional or just
not
earning money in
maybe
the
not
system? You know what I
professional,
mean? As
but
long
like
as you're whatever a cog in the wheel.
right. It's like there was so much allure to me to actually going into a studio and paying somebody to have studio time.
Right,
There
right.
was such an allure to me, and I almost feel like I have to like deprogram myself to feel more comfortable in this environment rather than like when I'm sitting down recording and stuff like that. I feel really comfortable. I feel
Hmm.
really good. But when I bring other people into that, it feels like immediate shame.
Well, and in my head, it's because we try and turn it into you try and turn it into what it's not. You try and make it the other studio
Right,
instead of embracing who we are.
right,
That in the end, our studio sound is the idea of people coming together.
right,
That we're not a traditional studio like, hey, come in here and record your track.
right.
We're don't get me wrong. If we all come together and we're working on something, then we can produce the track. That
I'm also
works.
pretty sure that most studios are for profit. So in that regard, we're really not
Well, I'm
traditional, but
my goal
that's okay.
in my head is there should be a studio on every corner
Mm,
in somebody's basement.
yeah,
And we should be able to hear the people instead of
yeah,
the loud voices.
yeah.
And the only way I know to drown them out
Mhm.
is for us to make more noise. And
Ain't that the
I
truth?
don't mean just us.
Yeah.
I mean, but the whole concept.
Mhm.
Every other group out there of I mean, they're trying to add, don't get me wrong, but at the same time they're also stuck in the we need to make some money.
Right.
We need to make some money killing the voices. It's
Yeah.
making it so that you can't hear people. It's where the system, not purposefully. I'm not opposed. I'm not saying, oh my God, the system is out to get us. We built the system.
Mhm.
You know, the reality is, how do we make this work better? The first step is, how do we even start hearing each other? Studio 586B doesn't want to tell the stories. I want to hear the stories. I want to bring perspective in so that it goes out.
Yeah.
And the first step is here, obviously. Right? Whatever. I don't care about here or me. I don't. I just don't. But if more people could raise their voices,
Mm.
we could be heard. There's no one here in the United States or in Russia or in Africa or the Ukraine, Tibet, China.
Mhm.
There's nowhere where there's kids are going, hey, let's hope we can get into a fight with each other.
They just want to play, have fun, live life.
So how do we I'm telling you the noise from the bottom doesn't agree with the noise from the top. And they got microphones and we don't.
Mm.
And that's not against some group or party or it's the idea that we are at a moment where we can be heard and should be.
Mm.
Globally, we can talk to each other. Why are we letting the conversation be controlled by idiots. Our system by design has always put assholes in charge because, in the end, that's who kept the tribe going and protected the tribe against all the other tribes. When are we going to grow up and realize we're one tribe? And that we don't need the assholes anymore and we have to start working together. Just
I
as
mean,
basic humanity.
there's no better time than the present.
The only place I can be is here.
Yeah.
No matter where I go, there I am.
Yeah.
Buckaroo Banzai.
I
We are told that we may get early spring.
what?
For those of you that don't know, in addition to us talking about Alone today, it is also Groundhogs Day. Which actually, as a lover of the movie Groundhog's Day, as opposed to the holiday Groundhog's Day, in which today we predicted spring was coming. Spring is coming, by the way. He didn't see a shadow. He was not scared. He
That's
was,
awesome.
hello,
Spring
the
is
sun is not
awesome.
even outside. It's like slushy already.
Yeah, it's
It's
like dark outside.
it's
It's weird.
gray.
It's like gray. Yeah.
I always remember, so for me, I find meaning in all things. Ooh. So let me overanalyze Groundhog's Day for you real quick. I think of it as so representative of the cyclical nature of life that we discuss. And until he accepts that he's alone and just wants, oh, well, I'll just be the best me I can be, he don't get the girl. When he's trying to get her, when he's conniving, when he's working at it. But when he finally becomes one with himself and begins just perfecting him
Mhm.
instead of worrying what everybody else thinks or what they want, he becomes the Buddha.
I will keep it 1,000% honest with you. I've only seen Groundhog's Day once, and I actually don't remember much except for the fact that he keeps waking up.
The good news is
That's
it will be 2 tomorrow.
that's it. Because the whole point of
He will have seen it twice
the
by
whole
tomorrow is what
the
I'm
whole
pointing out.
the whole point of Groundhog's Day is like that he keeps like living
Well,
the same day over and over again, right?
so the point is that, right, you have this minuscule period of time that you just keep redoing.
Right.
Sound familiar?
Yes.
So I'm not a big reincarnation guy, only in the sense that I don't embrace the idea that I know about before or after, and all I can really understand is here. So I've kind of given up on figuring that out. It's kind of a nice, I can't be there. Why the hell am I worried about that?
Right.
I'm here. So there's a theory that you can master anything if you do it for 10,000 hours.
Yes.
Now they try to show in the movie. So in the book, he's stuck for eons. I mean, it's hundreds and hundreds of years.
Right.
So he perfects the piano. He perfects. So there's some pieces that they try and build into the movie, but the idea being that until he finds the focus on himself and perfecting him, he doesn't gain real knowledge.
Right.
Now I'm seeing
Right.
where they're
Right.
going.
Right.
This is why I love the movie. And
Okay.
for me, it's like, okay, I think, for me personally, Bill Murray is the incarnation of Buddha. The lessons are simple. Play.
Bill Murray's pretty cool. He gives good speeches.
You know what? Bill Murray speeches are a thing.
Bill Murray speeches
Bill
are
Murray.
dope. I wonder
A
how many.
dog. You're a nut. You're a
I wonder
dog.
how many
Feel
of
his
those.
nose. It's wet.
I wonder how many of those are improvised, and how many of those are written.
Well, so the interesting thing is, I know about some of them.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, the long speech in Caddyshack
Okay.
about being a caddy
That was
for the
improvised,
Dalai
right?
Lama. He brought, whether it was improvised or he wrote it, it did not exist in anywhere
Okay.
other than
Okay.
Bill
Okay. Okay.
Murray's
Okay.
mind. I
Okay.
don't
Okay.
remember the
Gotcha.
specifics. If you want to understand Bill Murray's heart,
Mm-hmm.
you have to watch A Razor's Edge.
A Razor's Edge. Okay.
It's a Somerset Maugham movie that was Bill Murray's heart piece. It's what
Time out.
mattered to
What
him.
is a Somerset Maugham movie?
Okay, author. Somerset Maugham is an author. Some people,
Okay.
if you're really old, you may remember like Brideshead Revisited on
Okay.
PBS or BBC.
Right.
But Somerset Maugham writes these very. It's usually World War One, World War Two ish.
Yeah.
I think World War One Brideshead. No, World War Two Brideshead and World War One Razor's Edge,
So
maybe.
like somewhere between
See if my mom
the
just busted out an answer. I'm gonna go
30s
over and
and
read it.
the
But
somewhere between the
but
yeah,
anyways,
early
so
century.
a period piece.
Yes.
Um,
Talks about that specific
about
period.
meaning of life sort of stuff, and it meaned everything in the world to Bill Murray to complete.
Mm.
This was his, away from the comedy. I mean, it's a straight acting role. Um, not a huge success.
Really?
He goes to Paris and studies philosophy and art for the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes back more laid back and starts showing up at parties. That's all. I mean, I'm just saying that there's a
That's
he went
funny.
and thought some things, and then he came back and he was like, yeah, you know what? I'll wash your dishes for you.
I think
Live like Bill Murray.
after after I spend time like grinding it out for like a couple years and stuff, I'm probably gonna like disappear for a couple years, like
I've
two
heard you
maybe
say that a
3
few
years.
times.
2 maybe 3 years, and I'm just gonna chill and read some stuff, read a lot of books, and
I dream of.
take in things, and just sit around, watch Netflix, watch a bunch of movies.
I already did that part. So I'm looking
Yeah.
for a cave without a TV. I want to be able to communicate with people, but I don't want to be able to. I get overwhelmed when
Uh-huh.
I'm surrounded by people. Like I can feel more alone in a group of people than I can sitting with somebody one on one.
Yeah, me too.
But I think a lot of people feel that way. I don't think that's unusual. I think we all feel really alone a lot.
It's very hard to get the right mix of people that just feels right, and when it feels right, it feels right.
Well, right, and then it's almost like a meditation.
Yeah,
That there are moments like
definitely.
the, grasp your moments of joy firmly, but not so firmly that they slip out of your hands.
Right,
That being present in the moment allows you to have those moments better.
right.
So Bill Murray's reaction to being alone, because I mean, in my head, he's a guy that doesn't have a ton of people in his life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, doesn't even have a manager. He got rid of his manager for a 1-800 number. You have a special code to get in. I've got the number.
He has a
You know what?
1-800
It.
number
I
now.
will say this. No. He's had one for years.
Okay.
That if you want to get a hold of him, you leave a message.
Really?
And first off, you have to have the right code to even put in to have the message, be able to put in a message. Otherwise, it just hangs up on you.
Dang.
That I mean, he is known for the fact he's hard to hold on to.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
when they did Monument Men, Clooney like literally like said, "Hey, why don't you come stay at my house for a month, and that way we'll actually go do this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise you're never gonna find him
Damn.
unless you're at a party, in which case you may turn around and find out he's washing dishes in the kitchen."
Right.
There's an incredible video on it's out there, YouTube somewhere.
Bill
I've
Murray
also
washing dishes in the kitchen at a party.
okay, so they were at this party
Yeah.
and they've run out of cups, out of solo cups. They're all in the living room having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
This person walks into the kitchen and hears somebody doing the dishes and comes walking in and hey, yeah, just looked like you guys needed somebody to do the dishes. And Bill Murray had wandered into they're teens. They're not teens, but I mean like younger 20 somethings.
Mm-hmm.
And no, so Bill Murray hangs out with them after he does the dishes and stuff and then gets out of there.
Mm-hmm.
There's one where he showed up as the roadie for a local band. He'd met them somewhere
Mm-hmm.
and he decided he was going to be the guy that carried their instruments into this party they were doing.
Yeah.
And then he spends the night like going at it with them and the police show up.
Yeah.
Like going at it in a good way. I mean, like they're all partying and having a great time. He's playing that bunk thing.
Triangle.
No. Like the Hare Krishna's play. Why can't I think of it? I got one sitting right over here.
Gong.
No, over there on the chair.
Oh, ukulele. No,
No.
tambourine.
Tambourine. There we go.
Yeah.
This is a new game we're playing. Matt will try to think of words and then point it. Thankfully, there's enough stuff in here that.
No, cause he's pointing in that general directions, and there's like 5 instruments over there. And I'm like, what are you pointing at?
I know. I understand. So the police show up. And the guy throwing the party goes up to the police officer and goes, I don't know what to do, man. I mean, you want to shut down Bill Murray?
Right.
Bill Murray comes into camera and he's just hitting the tambourine. Tambourine gets in the officer's face, doesn't say anything. He's just
Right,
smiling at
right,
him.
right, right,
Goes back
right.
to dancing, and then so the cop comes in and dances and hangs out.
I think there's some validity to the idea that people that spend a lot of time alone learn how to
How to be alone?
how to be around people sometimes. Like how to just chill. Like I think when you spend time alone, you can learn how to just like sit and be comfortable and just chill.
I think so. It's the easy part for me,
Uh-huh.
except for the feeling of all the other responsibilities. I have trouble. The goal is when you sit.
I have trouble with
When you
long-term
sleep.
relationships. Long-term, I don't do too well
Why?
because I have a hard. Okay, so I'm a very very confusing person. I can go from very very invested and very very caring and loving to apathetic and distant and cold very very quickly. It's yeah. He will attest to that. Um I'm very very up and down, and it's hard for me to find balance in a lot of things. And when interacting with people, when you can really tune in
Mm-hmm.
really really quickly and really be invested in something for a short amount of time, it really helps to make friends. Really really helps.
Hard to keep them though.
It's really hard to keep them though, because once they begin to realize, okay, this person isn't always like this. This person isn't very consistent. This person isn't very um yeah, this person doesn't have
Are
much
you sure this
consistency.
isn't internal? Are you
What
sure
do you
that
mean?
you're not projecting the idea more than they're thinking it?
That's
That you mean
possible too.
you
That's
mean
definitely
it
possible
sometimes
too.
sounds like sometimes you'll go into these deep descriptions of how complicated you are and how this makes this so hard, and it always seems to me sometimes like you're describing what being human feels like.
Mm,
That as opposed to it's you feel like you're losing interest and you have trouble keeping it up, so you feel like they're losing interest. And it sounded
mm-hmm,
like you were going, wait a minute, I start to lose interest, and then people notice. I'm like, that might be you losing interest. If like internal as opposed to
mm-hmm.
external. I know I deal with some of that. I wear my heart on my sleeve.
I guess I worry that people will leave when they realize that I can't devote myself fully to anything, with the exception of maybe music. And even that I'm like iffy about sometimes.
Well, is that about your own self doubt though, as opposed to other people's doubt?
Yeah, there's a lot of self-doubt involved in that. Definitely.
I mean, I know that's part of what.
I
Yeah,
try to
I know
I
that.
try my best to pay attention to people and figure out what they're feeling before they can tell me. I do try to do that. But with that being said, it's very hard to tell what people actually feel about me.
Ask.
Well, on top of that, I got trust issues. So like I can ask somebody, "Hey, do you believe that, or what how do you feel about me?"
Right.
And then not trust the answer. Like I don't know why I do this. I don't know why my brain automatically assumes that people are lying to me and just not telling the truth, or just that people don't like me. I don't know why my brain automatically jumps to negative conclusions when it comes to people. Sometimes it's really positive, sometimes it's really negative, and I don't know what's going on ever. I never know what's going on.
So once you can accept that, it gets easier.
Yeah.
In my head, that's.
It does get easier.
But in my head, to some extent, it's. Oh, you mean you don't have all the
Hmm.
answers? Yeah, it took me 50 years to be okay with that too.
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm okay with it yet, because I still sometimes act like I have all the answers.
No, you would never act like you have all the answers. I know he has all the answers. I've heard.
No, but it's hard for me to like actually sit down and be like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna try and enjoy it.
Well, or sometimes sit in it and feel it when it's bad. Don't run away so
I
fast
have
from
a hard
things that
time with
don't
that
feel
too.
good.
Actually, I have a lot of hard time with just sitting in whatever the situation is. Just sitting in that. If there's something positive, my brain will find a way to ruin it. If there's something negative, my brain will find a way to try and make it better. It's very annoying and
So you just
very
it's
confusing.
you always support the underdog no matter which one it is.
Yes.
Today, it looks like
Yes.
positive might win. I'm going to be negative, damn it.
Right? No, I'm
you
determined
you put on
to
your scarf for whichever one it is that I'm wearing the negative scarf today. We're off to football.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I don't fully understand myself, which is why a lot of the things I say can sound really contradictory all the time. I don't fully understand myself.
I think that's a genuine part of feeling. My mom is saying no, but I don't know which part I said wrong.
Mm.
That
I could have said something wrong too. I have no clue.
no, no.
I have no clue.
That legitimately it's how to rest, not wallow in it. I don't mean that at all. I mean to actually the trick is to somehow be outside of it enough that you can figure out how it works. I don't know. I spend a lot of time feeling very alone too. It feels safer for
Yeah.
me.
It feels more comfortable.
It's a place where you know what, I know my judgment. I'll beat myself up just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um how do you remember the ledge isn't real and you're not really all alone.
Well, I find that I constantly have to question my bad thoughts. I find that I have to actively try and question my bad thoughts. Otherwise, I get to wallowing and I get to being a little shit and just being mean and just not nice.
Me too. I think
Um,
we're human. I
yeah,
honestly believe over and over again that the hardest people, the hardest place we exist is where we come into contact. I
yeah,
mean, I am overly aware of all living things, as people will comment on after spending much time around me and watching me delighted by feeding fish. Um, I can deal with the wants and needs of the other living things so
mm-hmm,
much better than I can deal with mine. Humans get next level complicated.
mm-hmm.
Um, fish don't lie.
I will say most of that's probably because I don't even know what I need most of the time. I hate the question, "How would you describe yourself?" Cause like I don't know.
I would describe
I am
myself like a giant Stay
I
Puft Marshmallow
I
Man.
would describe myself as all over the place. I like sports and I'm a nerd. I like anime, but I also go outside. Like I don't know. Like how do you want me to describe myself is the real question. Like I
I
don't
think
know.
the real reality is nobody's a one trick pony. That sounds
Right.
pretty normal to me.
Right.
That doesn't sound crazy. That sounds like, oh, you mean you have varied interests like a healthy human being.
I guess. I think maybe that is healthy, but like it doesn't feel very healthy in the moment because it feels like I can never find anything that's like truly mine. Nothing ever feels like it's mine. It always feels like something outside of myself that's just there. Like that I'm just interacting. It's like I'm taking a back seat and I'm just looking at this thing. And I'm doing it, but I'm just looking at it. It's real stupid. I don't like it.
Well, I used to tell my daughter, Echo Hayes, that the hardest thing you'll ever do,
Mhm.
look in the mirror, figure out who you are, hold yourself responsible. Not like in a bad way,
Mhm.
but like in a working through it way.
Yeah.
That it doesn't really take a real mirror.
Right.
Um, that's the hard part. The only part we can do better tomorrow is us, how we react to the rest of the world. That part of it is we are alone, coming to terms with that. That, the majority of the parts we're fighting with are not about
Mhm.
somebody else. That I'm not saying to the extreme. of some thought, but I'm saying it in the extent that the things you struggle with are the things that define you.
I will say I can't remember how young I was when I first had this thought, but since I was young, I've had the thought of no one will ever understand how I feel, no matter how hard I try to express it. People will get close, and maybe even I'll be able to relate with people along the way. I'll be able to like see pieces of myself in other
Mm-hmm.
people. I'll be able to do that all day long, but no one will ever truly understand what goes on in my mind.
Well, I think the only person that can ever understand what goes on in our mind,
Is us.
and so self-discovery, I think that's
Right.
a cry for you to understand what's
Right.
going on, as opposed to
Right.
once you're comfortable with what's inside of you,
Right.
really the outside part doesn't matter anymore,
Right.
because then you're sharing as opposed to you're desperately wanting someone to understand.
Right.
Different motivators.
Different. Very
And
different.
that desperately wanting someone to understand is actually us desperately wanting to understand ourselves.
Yes.
That endlessly, I go back to the idea that we all are just looking for a place to exist and to grow and bloom like a pretty flower. You know what? I know this is hard some days.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I really do work at trying to make it easier. Um, I really do know there are people out there that believe in us. I really do know the weight's pretty heavy currently. And so I know that means I am right on the edge already. So that in the end, on top of it all, we're both right at the edge, so we can feel it. It
Yeah.
affects each other. And then the funny part is, so we're both going through this feeling, which
Yeah.
is very similar in both sides, but then we feel very alone
Yes.
on top of it all. So it builds.
Yes. It's like you're standing on your own pillar and you keep building up your own pillar rather than looking across the street and seeing that the other person is also building a pillar that's equally as high.
Right?
And if you guys fall, you might not survive. I mean, you can't you can't do anything else but start to take down the walls slowly and try and understand that it's going to take time
Yeah. Yeah.
and try and be patient with yourself and be compassionate to yourself. You can't do anything else but that because it feels like it feels like you're constantly attacking yourself, but you have to realize that you're constantly attacking yourself. Stop it. Stop hitting yourself. Stop it.
Stop hitting
hitting
yourself.
yourself.
See, but my brother was already always actually the one that had my hand and was hitting me and screaming, "Stop hitting yourself." So, you know, I see where I learned this.
See, he was trying to teach you a lesson. He was like, I want you to know this for life. This is the life lesson right here. He was trying to provide some brotherly knowledge.
Some brotherly knowledge. Some brotherly knowledge. Oh, I did hit him over the head one time with a vacuum cleaner pipe. Or so he claims. He did
Okay.
admit to me later, though Mom was not in the room, that he threw me at the wall prior and was fully deserving, but did not admit that at the time of the transgression. Just saying, I was defending myself, Mom.
That's funny.
You know what? The whole point of the episode. So we originally were going to do an episode on Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
And we touched on that briefly. And even, I really actually, if you get a chance to watch Groundhog's Day today or any day, note the level of Bill Murray's loneliness as he's going through the process.
No, that would be incredibly lonely.
That
Yeah.
he's stuck and nobody understands.
Right.
Does
Because
that sound familiar?
yeah, you're going through the same stuff every single day, and it's like, okay, you guys don't understand. I've been through this already. This hurts. It
Isn't that what the days feel like anyways?
right. They feel like that.
There's only one
The
place to be,
movie
and it's here.
relates to life very well. I will say Bill Murray picks very relatable life movies.
Oh my God, yeah. If you get a chance, anybody,
At
St.
least the
Vincent's
movies
another
I've
one.
seen. At least the movies I've seen from him.
In general, yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely, you can see his growth spiritually. I mean, there's different moments, but I mean, from very early on, he's slipping stuff into Caddyshack.
Right.
But I bet he feels alone sometimes, or maybe he's mastered it. I don't know. Hey, Bill Murray, if you're out there and you've mastered it, we'd like to talk.
That's funny.
That in the end, we were both feeling really alone. We were having a rough morning, and we were feeling alone in a room together.
Yeah.
And so I had gone upstairs to try and get cancer real quick, um, to try and calm my mind. And that was when I realized that today's show was going to be about alone. That this, I believe, is a universal feeling. This is a universal struggle. It's really about how do I fit into this universe and fear of not fitting into it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we feel very encapsulated.
Right.
Um, lately, I've seen The Far Side recently with the caterpillar and the butterfly, and the caterpillar looks at the butterflies and goes, "What happened to you?" And the butterfly goes, "I've changed. We're supposed to."
That's
I
funny.
I I will leave everybody with my thoughts on caterpillars and butterflies. That I think our existence is very much that of the caterpillar, encapsulated in a cage of his own building,
Yeah.
suffocating, unaware of his future, struggling, literally a struggle that will pump blood into wings that he knows not what they do, because he's a caterpillar. He's a caterpillar.
Mm-hmm.
And it isn't until that moment that he flies he even knows it's possible,
Right.
because all he's ever been
It was a caterpillar.
is a caterpillar. How scary is it trapped inside a cage of your own making to not know that soon you will fly?
Jeez. That's deep.
Roy, little zen for you guys. I have meaning. I got meaning, man. Oh no, I can't find the thing that makes the thing go away. Where'd it go?
Where'd it go? Where's the thing?
Where'd the thing at?
I mean, where's the line?
What the what? I don't know. Maybe we won't have it today. I don't know where
Yeah, I
it
don't
went.
think we'll have it today. That's okay.
There that goes. There that goes. Did I put it up? That's weird. I can't find it.
That is weird.
I probably moved it somewhere stupid.
That's okay.
That traditionally is what I do.
That's okay.
But to everybody out there, I really do mean that I know I'm supported. And I know that alone is a feeling.
We're gonna get on out of here, but even if you feel alone, have a good day.
Yes, everybody, have an awesome day.
Please.
Know we love you. Peace. See, now I can just wait for the peace symbol. Did you see me work a peace symbol in?
Yeah.
That's way back, though. It's got me typing still. I'm gonna jump. I don't know what's going on.